What up, YouTube? I'm back with another episode review of Boruto Naruto Next Generation, and this week's episode was awesome, and I really liked it a lot. It was my favorite episode of this arc so far, just for the fact that we got some backstory about Kawaki. There wasn't a lot of action, but the story that we got, the backstory that we got, I thought was amazing. So let's get right to it, man. One of the things that we already knew about Kawaki is that he has the same mark on his hand that Boruto has on his left palm, so I think this mark is called karma. That's what Cash and Koji called it in last week's episode, and that's what they were talking about in this week's episode, so it's going to be interesting to learn how Kawaki got that mark, because we already know how Boruto got it. He killed a god, so it's going to be interesting to know. But something else that I thought was interesting is that I think Jigen has the same mark on his chin, which is interesting. So maybe he also had to kill a god. So I just can't wait to learn about how they got the same mark as Boruto, because Boruto needed help to kill Momoshiki from Naruto, and now there's two other people that have that same mark, so it's gonna be interesting, man. Something else that I thought was really interesting is that in Kawaki's backstory, he fought someone named Gaho, and the way that he fought him was with the mark. It seems like the mark awakened, and with that mark he was able to conjure a laser beam or a chakra jutsu or something like that. I'm not really sure what that was, but it seems like that mark has multiple powers, and we're going to talk about another kind of power that this mark has, at the end of the episode. But I just thought that this was really interesting that Kawaki could do that with his mark. We also learned that he was kind of sold by his father to Jigen, which is interesting. The reason why Jigen wanted Kawaki, we don't know. Maybe they made an experiment out of him, and that's the reason why he has that karma mark on him. We're not really sure. There's still a lot that we don't know about the Kara organization, Kawaki and Jigen, so I just can't wait to know more about them, because they're really interesting characters and a really interesting organization. There was a weird scene between Delta and Jigen, because Delta was pretty mad that the vessel wasn't back yet, because Cash and Koji was the one that was sent to bring the vessel back, but it wasn't back, so she was pretty mad. So she destroyed the table, the food and the wine that was on the table, and then Jigen just made reappear another table, food and wine, so that was really interesting. I don't know what Jigen's power is yet, but the fact that he could just make another table and food reappear was weird, so I'm wondering what his power is. I think that scene wasn't, I don't think that scene was there, for just show. I think that they made that scene so that they could show us a little bit of Jigen's power. So it's going to be interesting to see what Jigen's power is. We already know that he has this karma mark on his chin, so he's probably powerful, but we just don't know a lot about him. Now, my favorite part of the episode is when Team 7 found Kawaki. He was just unconscious, and it seems like he was the one that defeated all these puppets that was around him, so they found Kawaki. They saw that he has the same mark that Boruto has on his left palm, and at some point Boruto was kind of hurting for a reason, and Kawaki was hurting at the same time. So maybe it's because they both have this karma mark and they're close to each other, so maybe that's the reason that they were hurting, but I thought that was pretty cool. Maybe they're linked for some reason, I don't know. But yeah, man, Kawaki woke up and basically said, "Don't touch me." I don't think he knew that it was the Leaf ninjas that were beside him, but I thought it was really cool the way that he woke up. The animation was amazing. I don't know what that blue energy was around him. Maybe it's chakra, maybe it's not, because it seems like in this show, in this current arc, it seems like maybe these Kara goons, these Kara members don't really use chakra like that. So I'm not sure what kind of energy that was, but it was pretty well made. I thought the animation for that was pretty cool, and it showed us how powerful Kawaki can be, because he just proposed everybody around him far away from him, and that I thought was pretty cool. It also seems like he can fly because he just came down, gracefully, so maybe he can fly too, so he's just an interesting character. We all know that at some point he's gonna be the villain, I think. So yeah, man, it was just cool to be introduced to his character in this week's episode, man. Anyway, then Delta came into the situation with Garo, the same dude that Kawaki beat when he was a kid. I think Garo is the same thing as Ao. He's an outer and not an inner, so I think, these two words are really interesting. But yeah, man, Delta wants to take back Kawaki with the Kara organization. Obviously, it seems like Kashin Koji, that was his mission, but it seems like it's not what he wants to do right now, It seems like he just wants to observe what was going to happen between Kawaki and Boruto, because they both have the karma mark, So yeah, man, it seems like Kashin Koji has a different agenda than, the rest of the Kara organization. So yeah, it was pretty cool to see the conflict between them two, and it seems like Kashin Koji wasn't really happy that other members of the Kara organization was there, to take Kawaki back to the organization, Anyhow, we got the beginning of a fight between Kawaki and Garo. Obviously, Kawaki wasn't at full power because he just fought a lot of the puppets, and I think he was in that kind of vessel, so I don't think he's at full power. But the way that, the fight started was great. I thought the animation was really, really good, and the way that Kawaki was using his karma mark was different than what he used when he was a kid, when he fought Gao. When he was a kid, it seems like it was like a beam that he shot out of his hand, and in this shot right there, it seems like he was creating weapons out of his body with the karma mark, so it's really interesting. It seems like that power has different kind of abilities, so we don't know a lot right now, but from what we've seen from Kawaki, it seems like there's a lot of opportunities to use powers from that mark, so I can't wait to see how Boruto will use that mark in the future, because like I said, we've seen Kawaki shoot a beam out of his hand, and now we've seen Kawaki kind of create a weapon out of nothing, out of his body with the mark, so yeah, man, it's gonna be amazing. I can't wait for next week's episode. I thought this week's episode was really good, and there's just a lot, man. I just can't wait. It's gonna be good. I think next week's episode is gonna be the best episode of this arc by far, and I think the animation will be really well made, because in the next episode preview they didn't show us anything. I don't know if it's my Crunchyroll that was bugging or anything like that, but it seems like the only thing that they showed us was a shot of Team 7 with Katasuke, and then Kawaki's hand with the mark turning kind of red orange-ish, so they didn't show us anything, so I'm guessing that we'll get a really big episode for next week. So yeah, let me know what you thought about this week's episode in the comments down below. Let me know what you think is gonna happen next. I do both Naruto Next Generation reviews every Sunday morning, so subscribe for that. But I also do other anime related things like Attack on Titan, the final season reviews on Sundays, Black Clover reviews on Tuesdays. I'm coming back with Jujutsu Kaisen reviews because the last 2 episodes were amazing, but I had a lot of things to do, so during my spring break I'll have more time, so I'll start my Jujutsu Kaisen reviews again on Fridays, and One Piece is coming back again at some point, probably next week, but stay tuned for all of that, man. Boku no Hero Academia is coming this month, I think, so stay tuned. We just saw a trailer for the 5th season, so yeah, man, I can't wait for all this. But like, comment, subscribe, it would help my channel a lot, and follow me at Anime Specialist on Twitter and Instagram, man. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Anime Specialist out. Peace.